Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Agent Advantage webinar. Hope everyone is doing well today. Thank you for joining our monthly webinar series. I am Kurt Klaus, and today's webinar title is Planting the Seeds for Client Referrals. So great, relevant topic. Our goal today is to help you increase your referral business, improve your connections to your database. I heard one say that your past clients are your sales force. So super important to have a strategy in place with communication, staying connected to everyone you know, everyone you've ever done a transaction with in the past. So thanks for being here. These webinars are all brought to you by the Guaranteed Rate family of companies and our Agent Advantage website. If you're not familiar with Agent Advantage, it is our no-cost proprietary site for all of our referral partners across the country. If you are not part of Agent Advantage, it is agents.rate.com. Go there and check it out. We do have a version for our Guaranteed Rate affinity company, agents.grarate.com, for anyone working with Guaranteed Rate affinity. And Agent Advantage, again, no cost, marketing, technology, coaching, webinars like this one, everything we do to help our realtor referral partners like you save time, connections to our digital mortgage, help you, help your clients. So Agent Advantage is our one spot where we pack everything in. And I see people are still joining the call, but one more quick mention. We also have an Agent Advantage Insider Facebook page. It is a closed group. Go to Facebook, Agent Advantage Insider. You can search that, or you can click the QR code on your screen to request to join our Agent Advantage Insider forum. It has everything we're doing here at Agent Advantage, upcoming webinars, real estate news, kind of a mentorship in there too. So lots of good stuff in Agent Advantage Insider on Facebook. So let's get rolling. So today we are thrilled and grateful to have from Salt Lake City and the Maruri and Favero team at Keller Williams, Scott Maruri. Scott, thank you so much for being here. We're thrilled you're here.
Hey, Kurt, thank you for having me. And I probably should give a quick shout out. You know, my whole 17-year career, I've worked with Danielle Young at Guaranteed Rate. She actually introduced me to real estate, believe it or not. So I've had a great partnership with you all for a long time now.
Love to hear it. So today is all about you and your business in 17 years, and you're part of a team. So maybe we can start with a quick introduction. Tell us about your market, your team, maybe a little bit about your background, and then I'll kind of dig in and ask you some questions on you and your business and how you have achieved success and into the topic of referral business.
All right, cool. Thanks, Kurt. Yeah, so I'm a Salt Lake City, Utah-based agent. That keeps me mostly within about 3 counties around the capital city of Utah. I'm the Maruri of Maruri and Favero at Keller Williams, Salt Lake City. Kelly Favero would have loved to be here today, but he's on vacation, so we give him some time off. But we're a small team. You know, you may know Keller Williams is known for some really big teams, lots of great individual agents as well. And Kelly and I both did the individual thing for quite a while and then decided to team up. He's also got 17 years of experience in Utah, in Salt Lake City specifically. And so, I guess probably 2 years ago, we said, let's team up and see what we can do together in marketing. We both just are really passionate about lots of different sides of real estate. Some of it's architectural. You know, we just love what houses are and what a home becomes for people. My side, I guess I kind of am a people person, love people. What else can I tell you? I grew up in a state nearby over in Wyoming, but I've been here in Utah for 20 years, started in real estate. I think I mentioned earlier, Danielle Young actually kind of recruited me to work for a builder that she does a lot of the buyer loans for the customers of builders. And she said, I think you'd be good in real estate. And I was working in a nonprofit organization at that time. And anyway, she recruited me, and I started working for the builder, did that for about 6 or 7 years, and then got into the resale side in about 2010. So
Awesome. 17 years. Yeah. You live in a beautiful state, but you're in Salt Lake proper in the city.
yeah,
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, I want to start with the referral topic, and then we can get into more specifics. I'll kind of pepper you with questions, but why don't we start? What percentage of your business today with you and Kelly would you say is from referral?
Easily 90%.
Wow. Okay. I'm glad that's a high number. And it doesn't happen overnight. And agents who are listening, was that always a a goal, or just kind of evolve for you to focus on the client instead of just knocking out the transaction?
It's always been a goal. I will say that Kelly and I have always thought very specifically that relationships are first and foremost in this business. We try really hard to make sure that the relationship comes first, and so sometimes that means um, you know maybe a less profitable situation for us, right? In commission negotiations, or just in taking care of a buyer that's getting kind of a raw deal in a situation. And sometimes we do what we do to maintain the relationship.
Awesome. So right from the beginning, years 1, 2, and 3, once they are a client and once they're in your database, you your goal was to make them a client for life. And tell us about how you kept in touch with them, and did you have a process, or what do you do, and what kind of path does that client go on once they've worked with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. First and foremost, I would say knowing that we care about the relationship, all of our interactions with them from the beginning are focused on maintaining that long term, right? So that looks like a lot of different things, and a lot of agents that are watching this probably would understand exactly what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of steps that we take while in a transaction with a new client or a past client or a repeat client, whatever it may be, to make sure that they feel like we are dedicated to their needs, right? Like we're fulfilling our fiduciary duty to them as a client. From there, though, where I think Kelly Favero and I really are focused is our client events. Essentially, we kind of believe that there's a lot of ways that agents are getting out in front of their clients, whether that's social media, and we're seeing that in a lot of different ways and formats. And we do some social media, no doubt, whether that's mailers, whether it's what other little ways, email campaigns,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of ways to contact, text, phone call, and drop bys to a house. But for us, I would say client events from the beginning, right? Even if they haven't even had any transaction with us, we'll invite them to our little micro events as well as bigger events. But we try to keep those events coming. And what we're noticing is even if a client can't attend an event, it's still a touch. It's still an invite. We're still saying, hey, we care and we want to see you. Come back and see us, because real estate is very interesting. I mean, as we are working with the person that needs us in the moment. And then when they no longer need us because we've accomplished what they needed, whether buying or selling a house, we transition to the person that's now needing us, right? Or the people that are needing us. So there's a little bit of a moment where you can kind of miss people, and in caring about them, it's nice to invite them back and say, come see me at the coffee shop down in Sugar House, or right, come visit with us. Just come hang out for a moment. We'll buy you a coffee. We'll buy you a pastry.
So yeah, I saw the events on Kelly's social media, all the different events that you both do. I was going to ask you that later, but from cancer to animal rescue to leukemia, sounds like you're passionate about a lot of things, but the focus is getting in front of people face to face and about things they're passionate about, not just home buying and selling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it could be easy to really just focus in on just the home buying and selling side of things. But, anyone that I know that has a really great career, day job, whatever it is they do, they also have passions outside of just their work. And so we're the same, right? We love real estate, and we also love, our dogs or, other things. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you mentioned some of the more conventional things, the email campaigns, you do the pop buys, you call, do you have ABC list? What type of content or value are you sending out with email or any printed pieces? Maybe some of the other things you use as touches to your database, as big as that is.
So we definitely do have, maybe what you would call the ABC list. There are those people that, for whatever reason, are sending us referrals left and right, right, and they are just keeping us fed, and we're of course just incredibly grateful for those people because they open their mouths and tell people about us for some reason. Um, you know, I it's hard though sometimes I think for Kelly and I because we recognize that there just are so many different personalities and some of those people that may never have sent us a referral are still some of our biggest champions. But they just aren't maybe the kind of people like me that can just talk and talk and talk and like just there's just so many different personalities, which is great, keeps the world going around. But essentially what we would do is we would recognize, of course, anytime that we do get a referral, uh, one, two, three, however many, recognize that by making sure that they're always, you know, uh, receiving some kind of thanks from us, whether that's, a quick handwritten note that we mail and then put a little, gift card in there to just say thank you for the referral. And as you probably have heard this in the past, it doesn't matter if that person actually transacts with Kelly and I, right? Like the person they refer to us, we're not saying thank you, they bought a house, or thank you, they sold their house with us. We're saying thank you for that action, not the result. But the action of the referral is, I think, the most important thing to make sure to give, that gratitude back to our clients for.
Yeah. And do you actively ask for a referral? Some people do at the right moment of a transaction. Does it just happen organically? And tell us, 17 years at the beginning, you said that was your focus, which I think is great. And it, I slowly double. But yeah, but tell us how proactively get people not just to like working with you, but to be a promoter and to promote you.
And you mentioned just kind of our time frame and how we've moved from being new agents into being agents that have been in the industry for 17 years, and it's very true, right? Like there's a growth phase and there's a phase where you're focused and doing all the right things. And I know agents that have been in the industry for longer than I have that are still doing all of the right things. And so I'm embarrassed to say that I'm not. Kelly's probably better at it than I am, but I'm not really great at asking for the referral consistently. I think we do it a little bit in a more roundabout way in just again, inviting those people to all of our events, right? Just, hey, this is what we're doing. Please come be a part of us. And as they're there, one of the events we just did was really fun and successful. We focused on a new coffee shop, a new little coffee shop here in Salt Lake that had opened up kind of toward when the pandemic was easing. And we thought, you know what, this is a great way to go support this place. We just said, put everything on our tab. It doesn't matter who comes through the door. And from 8 to 12, we bought every person's coffee. And you wouldn't believe the response, both from the people that knew us that were there and the people that had no idea who we were. But Kelly and I we didn't have paper. We didn't have like everything to give them and trying to get their information and say, hey, we bought you a coffee now, let us talk to you. We didn't approach it that way. Mostly because we don't want to appear desperate for the work. We just simply wanted to say, there you go. And it was funny because you would see the conversations the baristas were having with people coming in that didn't know what we were doing. And they would look over at us and look back and they say, really? It's free? And they're not trying to like make me sign up for anything. And then our clients notice that. And we just say, no, we're simply here to say thank you to you for your support of us as real estate agents. And maybe that would be a really good time to say, and for your referrals, right? Just to say thank you for the referrals, regardless of giving them or not. But using the word referral a little more in my business would probably be a good thing.
Yeah, but no, it's great. It's not, it's a big difference between trying to sell someone something, whether, versus you're just introducing yourself and meeting people, and everyone in that coffee shop now knows who you are. That was another thing I was going to bring up. In the coffee shop, great idea, but any other networks or partnerships with not just people you work with, vendors, service providers, great way to be involved in the community, and a great way to kind of cross pollinate with clients that work with lots of different people.
Yeah. There's no doubt that finding good partnerships and leaning in on them is important. The thing that I think we see here in our market, and I'm not sure how it is across the country, but sometimes there seems to be a bit of maybe a one-sided thing, right? A bit of an abuse, right? Agents sometimes, we're lucky because we have these buyers, for example, that are contacting us directly or being referred to us, and then you have lenders that are hoping for a referral to that buyer from the agent, right? So sometimes lenders are the ones that are always like, hey, let us partner with you. We'll help in paying for marketing, or we'll take you to lunch, or we'll this, or we'll that. Or title companies can do that, or home inspection companies. There just are a lot of people in the industry that can be great partners. And I think the one thing, again, Kelly and I are very, very clear on is we're not just accepting free lunches. When a new lender approaches us, and that happens every other day, every week, whatever, lenders or title companies or whomever, it feels nice to have somebody call and say, hey, I see that you have really great numbers here in the Valley, and we'd really like to work with you because you've got such a great business. It feels nice to hear that. But I think that a certain amount of loyalty to take care of the person that's been taking care of your clients, whether that is Danielle Young at Guaranteed Rate, or, and I'm not trying to just plug Guaranteed Rate since that's your company, but really, truly, I've had the most amazing experiences with her. And she is the person that takes care of my people the way that I would take care of them if I was a lender. So when, I guess, coming back to your question, look, we have opportunities all the time to partner with people, and those partnerships are important. But I think also it's important to make sure as an agent, we are showing that same level of, gratitude and also loyalty to say, hey, thank you. I can't always send every single lead to just one lender or one title company or one whatever. And there's a little bit of that balance that's going on, but to make sure they know how well respected they are for the work that they do, I think goes a long way in keeping you top of mind, and also getting referrals from your lender or your title company or your inspector. I sold my home inspector a home because he was like, you're a good agent and you care about other people in this industry. And we do. So
Very good. How many events do you guys do each year? And are you scheduling them out? Are you planning them in advance, meeting as a team?
sure. So what we are transitioning a little bit to is more of micro events, and that's just so that we can do more of them. Things that local small businesses that could use some introduction from us to the community and the community to them. So our intention is to do one every 2 months, which some people would say, oh, that's crazy. But we're not all of our events have to be a big production. They just can be a simple invite through email, text, phone calls, as well as social media. Essentially, is how those invites would go out, and we're not making it such a big deal that we feel completely bogged down by planning events. We are working with our clientele first and foremost on their transactions that they need us to keep going forward perfectly. So the event, these little micro events aren't as big of a production. They're very chill.
And like you
But
said, it's a great touch point. If you're inviting me to your event 6 times a year, you're staying top of mind. I'll never um, forget you or what you do. Very important today. What other? I was going to ask about a typical day or week for the Maruri and Favero team. Do you focus on touch points with past clients? When is the next event? Or do you make certain number of calls to past clients? Do you have it kind of blocked in, as far as a database? And then do you have any systems that you find super valuable that you use to keep in touch with your full database?
so we don't use any systems. We're not using any CRM. We do have our database, and essentially what we're doing is we're keeping it in an Excel spreadsheet that we convert and drop into any kind of invitational program or web-based system. And then there's also the ability to use that same file to create like a text kind of campaign if we want to do it that way. Kelly and I tend to meet once a week just to kind of go through things. Again, we're a pretty small team. We have us and an assistant, and then we've got a person that we're starting to collaborate with on marketing. And that's just because, again, we transitioned away from me being on my own, him being with another business partner that retired. So we've transitioned. We're still working like on our new website, and we've got our branding down, but now we have all the other pieces that we want to have ready to go that need to be rebranded and kind of updated, to be honest. And so we'll meet weekly. We do Thankful Thursdays, which is just a day to write a note to maybe 2, 3, 10 clients. It just kind of depends. But yeah, that's a weekly thing.
Yeah, love that. And I would think some agents do the leads or the prospecting or the cold calling, but you are working with people that know you or know someone that's worked with you in the past. I got to think it's a lot more fun and special to work with people that are part of your referral base and not the cold call or the prospect. It's got to be a totally different way of doing business than some people that do the lead game.
Yeah, no doubt. I will tell you, like we don't cold call. And again, I understand that might be part of a product of being in this industry for 17 years but you're so right. It is so much more fun to call someone, text somebody, have an interaction with somebody that you already know. And not and I'm kind of like an extreme extrovert where I'm very curious about strangers. Like if somebody will talk to me, I will definitely talk to them, and I do find that very interesting, but not on the phone, right? Like there is such a high barrier to get in over the phone. I mean, it's just incredibly challenging. And you and I mean, think about that, Kurt. Every time you see a call that's coming through from an unknown number and you answer, and then all of a sudden you realize that it's some kind of somebody that wants something that you're not sure if you have the time to even listen to them, and you definitely don't think that you want what they're selling. And I think that's a hard thing. Like we really are salespeople, but like if we can think of ourselves in a little bit different light and try to sell ourselves a little bit less aggressively and a little bit more personally. See what it is. See if you can get somebody talking about what they need and what they want. Who cares about what I need? It's a hard switch. And again, we feel like, I would say we both feel pretty lucky that we're at where we are right now, finally. So.
Yeah, that's really well said. Uh, a question, and any tips that you have for an agent maybe who is only in their first or second year? And I always say people, you know more people than you think. If you have an iPhone, you can go to the bottom and see the number of contacts, and you kind of already have a database. But any tips for someone that's just starting and needs to let everyone know what business they're in and what they do?
Oh yeah, I actually think that you're so spot on to say, hey, look, you know more people than you think you do. It doesn't matter if you've been in the industry for 2 or 3 years or 10 or 20 years. You just know more people. And so I would say again, in those moments where you feel like you've done all of the things you're coached to do, uh, get on the phone. Do have meaningful conversations with people you already know. I think that is huge. And I do remember very much doing that in my first years. Now, remember, I did 6 years of new construction. So I didn't chase leads. The builders were essentially paying for those leads to come through the model home. But from that point forward, when I left, I definitely was on my phone. Anybody that popped up in my head when I'm driving, that would be a call. Otherwise, the plan, very specific plan weekly was, who have I been thinking of? Who would I want to call? Who have I already called? And a lot of times, what I noticed is sometimes I got on the phone with the same person frequently, but it's because I genuinely had a good connection and something I wanted to talk to them about that was probably about them rather than me and my new real estate business. So, I mean, how many times have we heard people like to talk about themselves? They like to hear their name and they like to talk about themselves. Get people talking about themselves. See what's going on in their life. It's
Yeah, more personal, like you said, more than a client.
yeah.
And looking back, you said 17 years. Any kind of points in your career or things that you did where you felt things started to kind of get rolling and snowballing, and things that you learned from, maybe things you would have done differently, based on your experience?
Um. So when I got into the resale market out of the new construction market, I started by relying on the contacts that I already had in title and in lending, as far as just wanting to talk with people that could help me transition from new construction to resale. So, I felt like I found people that were smart and kind and honest and driven that I wanted to be more like. I, I would say those first couple years in resale, the biggest challenge for me was calendaring. you know, I came from you. I show up to a model home. I'm there from 10 to 7, 10 to 6, whatever the hours are, and then I leave. And then all of a sudden, I transitioned into this thing where everybody's calling me, texting me, emailing me at all times of the day, and I have appointments all over. And for whatever reason, I just wasn't really great about calendaring it, putting everything in my calendar. And now I live by it. Everything happens in there, and if it's not on there, it's probably not happening, which can take some of the joy out of life. But that's what vacation is for. But I would say that's one of the mistakes that I made is, and I so embarrassed to admit this, but in one of those first years, I had a closing, and it was so exciting for me because they weren't as frequent as they are later in my career. I was still building, and I missed it. I didn't show up to it. And how embarrassing is that, right? To have the title company calling me and saying, "Are you coming to this?" And I was nowhere near, so I didn't make it. I called in and apologized, but you know, I would say just being very diligent in making sure you know what you're doing, and being very specific and very intentional on the things that you want to do. Other, you know, don't let all of your calendar be driven by your clientele. Make sure you put the intentional things in there that you need to do for your business.
So let's say I took a job in Salt Lake. One of your promoters referred me to you. I buy a house and I use you. What can I expect to, as far as touch points? I'll be invited to the events. I'll get an email from you guys. Maybe I'll get a phone call. What would my, future touch point specific items, what can I expect?
Oh, that's great. So for sure, you would see email, hopefully some interaction on social media, and then also text messages are most likely uh, the the first points of contact on events. If you know, to make sure you're invited and you're feeling very welcome.
So just a text invite. We're having this fundraiser.
Yeah.
Come on by
Yep.
us. Way more personal than the email today is like, come on, but
Yeah, I'm
that's
afraid those emails get buried, right? They just start to get so built up. So yeah, we definitely believe in text, um, just because again, it feels more personal. And the other thing is if you were to say move to Salt Lake City, my first interaction with you, of course, would be over the phone. However, you start your interaction with me, whether you call me or text me or email me, I'll respond in kind, and then I'll ask for the next thing, which would be a phone call. And then from that point forward, I don't want you to land in Salt Lake City, or drive in with the U-Haul or whatever you may be, and just say, "Hey, meet me over at this house. I want to see a house." I actually want to meet you at a local coffee shop, even if you're not a coffee shop drinker or coffee drinker, because there are plenty of those here in Salt Lake City. And, then either way, I just want to buy you a drink. I just want to break bread with you because that sets the stage for the event, right? You as somebody that wants to interact with me, I'm just going to go ahead and start out by saying thank you for being here, giving me time today, and interviewing me because you're still really interviewing me. But hopefully, if that goes well, and then we get you through the transaction, that next invite that you get from me feels very natural. Hopefully it feels very like, yeah, of course he's inviting me. That was fun. We bought this house and he started that way and maintained that relationship, and now he's inviting me back. And that's what our hope is for that transition to feel genuine and natural to you.
yeah, it's a people business, and thinking of whether you're a realtor or a loan officer. I talk to someone, I'll say, well, who helped you buy your house? Who was the agent on, or who was the loan officer? Oh, I don't really remember. It was too long ago. Like, it's amazing that something that big, it's a big deal that you cannot remember who, or that you know person did not end up staying in touch. So it's a miss.
I mean, we're in the world where we're contending with you know, big websites. I don't know if I should say or not, but like you've got Zillow leads and Realtor.com leads and all these leads that you can pay for. We don't buy leads. We don't pay for those leads. We're not paying any of those sources. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I know that a lot of agents, in fact, I know some Keller Williams teams that have like just sold millions and millions of dollars of real estate for paying for leads. But when you're contending with that, and that there are those clients that are not feeling a personal connection to the person that they met because it was through a kind of a purchase lead source, for us, then it's like, okay, this is a personal referral from, Jim and Bonnie, and they loved us. So we're going to take care of Jim and Bonnie by taking care of, Benjamin that they sent to us. It's super important. It's super important that feels much more personal than the other way, at least in the way I'm doing business. Right.
Yeah. much more memorable, in my opinion, just having known you for a little bit, but to get a text, to get a handwritten note, to get an invitation to something, it's all about the relationship, like you said. Anything in today's market, low inventory, super competitive, you doing anything different? I would think it's almost a better opportunity to really focus on the people and future business versus just the transactions.
Oh,
Or you stay the
um,
course.
what's that?
I said, or is it just business as usual? The market is what it is.
What a wild ride, right? The market is the lowest inventories we've seen in an 18 to 24 month period. Um, I'm gonna just say, while that's a hard question, and maybe I would come up with a different answer with more time. I believe in, again, just going back to what which is make sure whomever you're dealing with knows that you honestly care about them getting what they need out of whether it is a buy or a sell, because that is the largest purchase or sell transaction that most Americans do ever. And so I gotta take that really seriously and make sure that they feel that I understand the seriousness of what they want. Um, so I would say, yeah, just keep going forward with making sure that people know of your desire to get them what they need in a real estate world that can be full of pitfalls and problems if it's done wrong. Or and so I would say that's probably where I come from on that. I'm in a very interesting moment right now where our inventories have swelled. I mean, we are uh, just in the last 35, 45 days, our
Really?
inventories, we're in a shifting market.
Right.
And my gut is keep doing the things that have worked. Keep making sure that the people that have known me and trusted me for that transaction still know that I really want to be in relationship with them.
Great. Quick one. A lot of people part of a team, forming teams. You're, Maruri and Favero, your branding is team. Do you attend events together? Is it always, Scott and Kelly? Like, how do you handle the team for other people that want to form a team or be part of a team?
Okay, and that's a great question. Right now, for sure, everything that we do together as far as events go. Right, we really want to make sure that that brand that bears our names, our last names, feels you know um consistent, or it feels real to people, and there's two people in this. And so I would say that that's important. And then if there are people that want to come in and join the team, I would definitely say make sure that we're all at events representing, and again, creating relationships or deepening relationships. So I would want everybody present.
Yeah. Great. Really strong insight. Again, thank you so much for being here. Anything else in closing for other agents on the referral topic? But it sounds like we chose the right agent to talk about this topic, and think of how much your database has grown in the past 10 years and how much, it will in the future. So really grateful to have you here, and thanks for sharing everything you've done.
Oh, thank you, Kurt. I appreciate you putting this together, for all the work you're doing. And uh, I I don't know that I have anything else to add. I would just say again, just take care of people that take care of you, and that's very important for a referral based business.
Thanks for being here. If anyone has any questions, you can contact us, and we can get those to Scott. And again, thank you everyone for being here and joining us this month. Join us next month, where our topic will be social media specific. So look out for an invite for the next month's webinar, first Wednesday of each month. And Again, thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. And thanks everyone for watching. Have a great rest of your day.